Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Davis from the Franky N Davis Podcast. If you guys are anything like us and you love EDM music and world-class DJs, go ahead and check out laedmevents.com for all your latest club info. That's laedmevents.com. What is up, everyone? Welcome to the Franky N Davis Podcast. This is the podcast where when Franky and I don't have guests, we don't have to wear pants, and we get together and talk about whatever we want.
Yep, I'm freaking wearing my red thongs like always.
Nice. My name's Davis. With me, as always, Franky.
Hello, everyone. I love you guys. Thank you for listening.
What's up, everybody?
Na.
All right, cool. Franky, dude, what's going on with you?
Yesterday, I was my grandpa decided to get rid of his fish pond in the backyard. And there was I guess like one of the fish died. Or not died, I'm not sure if he died, but I know they're just like the water's getting dirty, they haven't changed it. So they took all the fish and put it into a bucket.
Okay.
And my grandpa just started cleaning everything, and it smelled like shit. And cause you know, the pond, if you leave there for a while and you don't put the right chemicals and so forth, and it just gets really dirty. And
like algae and stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. And then for me, I'm a lazy guy, so then my grandpa's all cleaning it, and he decided to call me to the back, and I was like, man, what do you want? And he said, stop moving these bricks. I was like, oh man.
Wait, what are these bricks? The foundation for the tank? Or?
Yeah, so pretty much he took out one of the bricks from one of the side, so that way he could leak out all the water.
Okay.
And then it had a big old tarp in there, and then it had a bunch of small rocks. And then on the foundation, it had at least each brick was about, I say 10 pounds, 15 pounds.
Damn, what the hell?
Well, not 15. I'd say around 10 to 12 pounds.
Okay.
So it's pretty heavy. And there was at least over 100 bricks.
Damn.
At least. I'm guessing. And yeah, he's just like, hey, dude, start moving. I was like, man, and I had to move every single one. So I'm kind of sore today. So,
you got your workout.
Yeah, and then all frustrating. I still have to do more when I get back, but well.
It's still not done.
It's still not done. I mean, all the bricks are moved, all the stones are moved, but there's like this little wood on the ground that they had, but it's all wet. So I told my grandpa, let's move it tomorrow, let it dry up. So once it's dry up, it'll be easier to take out.
Nice stall tactics.
It was kind of. But yeah, what about you? You do anything interesting?
Not too much. Just been working on our website. Speaking of website, www.FNDPC, Franky N Davis Podcast. This is the first time I ever had to actually go and work on a website. So for me, the experience has been kind of frustrating, kind of fun at the same time because it's learning something new. But Franky will tell you that. So as I'm working on the website, Franky's messaging me on the website and saying these things like, oh, this doesn't work, this doesn't. I'm like, I'm fully aware, dude, but I'm just having the hardest time with some of these plugins and stuff. But I mean, nonetheless, it's pretty damn fun, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I remember a few times I during work, I would just go on the website just to check it out, and then I'll just leave comments in between. Hey, dude, how come this keep replaying over and over? What's wrong with this? And I didn't mean it in a frustrating way, but I was just like, hey, did you know there's something wrong with this player? Do you know something's wrong with this website? Do you know something's wrong with this link?
See, it's funny. It's funny because on my end, I understand. You're just you just kind of whatever about it. But it's at the perfect moment where I'm just done with it. I don't want to deal with this anymore. And then a little message pops up and it's hey, this ain't working. I'm like, oh, damn it. My boss is mad at me. Can't get the website up in time.
I'm sorry. I love you, Davis.
Thank you. I love you too. But yeah, so pretty exciting. Yeah, we're starting to slap the website together, and you guys will see that. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I'm really excited for our website. I mean, our website will have pretty much all the link for you guys. It will have all the, was it the voice, the the video, any sponsor links, or just any tabs of any pictures. So definitely definitely check out the website, FNDPC.com. So
Yep.
it'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, and we encourage you guys absolutely to give us your input. So you guys feel like leaving comments and stuff, there'll be a section where you can do so, and let us know if you guys like it, if you don't like it, because I mean we're doing this for you guys, so your input is greatly valued by us.
Yeah, if you want us to take off our shirt during the show, we'll do it. If you want us to wear thongs, we'll do it. You let us know. So definitely, we're here for you guys. You tell us what to do, we'll do it.
Nice.
So we love you. So definitely keep listening to us. Enjoy the podcast, and yeah, let's get this rolling, dude. I mean, I definitely love this this topic we're having today. It's about Sony hack.
Yep. So what we wanted to talk about today is the Sony hack that happened recently. You guys may or may not have heard about it, but we wanted to just kind of dig a little bit deeper and kind of go into it because both Frankie and I are pretty interested in it. But it starts off with on November 24th, Sony stated that their company or their network was breached.
Okay.
And this alleged group of hackers, they were named the Guardians of Peace, or GOP. They took credit for breaking into the Sony network. A couple of days later, the supposed hacking group, they started to release information, such as emails, employee info, accounting information. They got executive salaries, social security numbers, credit card numbers, the whole thing.
Did they get every single employee's information, or is it just like a certain amount of people? Do you know?
Well, technically, they said that they got over 100 terabytes of information.
Damn, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Holy crap, dude. I can't even fit that much porn in my damn hard drive. Wow, dude.
Well, that's what we're saying right now, right? But in 2 years, it's like, oh man, 100 terabytes. How did I ever live with that?
It's not enough porn, damn. But dude, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah. So as far as all the information, I honestly don't know. I'm thinking yes, because if you're an employee of Sony, your information is recorded somewhere. There's a high chance that these people have it because they started releasing out a bunch of information.
Yeah, what can you really do? I mean, once someone hacked your information, if they get even your social security, how can you even block or fight against that?
That's a good question. I'm not too sure. I'm sure there's ways of trying to lessen the blow of identity theft.
Yeah.
Obviously, if certain big things start happening where it's all of a sudden I'm applying for 50 credit cards. Yeah, that's kind of fishy.
Yeah.
But the exact details on how to do it, I'm not sure. And maybe, I don't know, some people out there that have,
Yeah. Well, I know there was it on the commercial, there was some kind of life hack or whatever it was where you could actually post out your social security, but there's a something to kind of block it without your information. I forgot what it was. But it would be kind of funny if the guy that stole your information put that life hack on first before before you actually do it.
Wait, so
Yeah, say for instance there's someone from the hacker from GOP,
okay,
and he takes your information and then he signs up for that life hack. And then what if the other person was, wasn't aware about it? And then, he started using your information, putting life hack on it, pretending that's you. How do you
I see.
fight against that if he already applied for the life hack before you did?
Right.
Yeah.
I got no idea. That's crazy. Yeah, because he's basically you.
What can you do? I mean, he's the one that signed up for it first. You're pretty much screwed.
That'd suck. What's your social security number, Frankie?
1234-389.
Yeah. It's unfortunate, but I guess it's happened. So.
Yeah.
But interestingly enough, this is not actually the first time that Sony has been hacked.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So about a year ago,
Mm-hmm.
there was a breach on the PlayStation Network. I don't know if you remember hearing about this.
Oh, I did hear a little.
Because this was
little
pretty
bit
big
about
news
that.
too.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and people's PlayStation Network accounts,
Yeah.
they were compromised basically. So that includes, their name, their address, credit card numbers, because you could buy things from the PlayStation Network.
I bet you it was Xbox. They're competitors. Dude, that's so messed up.
Microsoft, you.
Dude, I know how pissed I'll be, dude. I'm playing game and someone hacked into my shit and I can't play it anymore. Fuck you.
Well, now that you can't play the PlayStation, we got this perfectly good Xbox here, $400. Looks like it's your only option.
Yeah, and then you have to sign up with Xbox and make a new account. And, oh, fuck.
And then Sony hacks Xbox, and then the vicious cycle just continues.
Man, I think Xbox and Sony's working in on it.
Yeah, nobody's hacking them. They're just making up these stories so that we constantly switch back and forth between them. They're all just under Nintendo, is what it is. So Nintendo is the ringleader.
Oh, dude, that'd be crazy to have like a ringleader. Oh, man.
Yeah, it's
Nintendo's
Mario.
Oh, man.
Mamma mia.
Turns out Luigi's not his real friend. Bowser's real buddy.
You're getting all the hot tips from our show right now. The secret underbelly.
Oh,
But
that's crazy.
yeah, so going back to the Sony network being hacked a year ago, Sony blamed the hacking group Anonymous. So do you know these guys?
I actually heard about Anonymous.
Yep.
Actually, a lot about not towards gaming, but towards cops.
Yeah,
Actually,
yeah.
recently, and I see a lot of this guy wearing an anonymous mask, and he just releasing videos saying, "I'm gonna take out one ISIS website," and then name like 3 or 4. I think more, probably 5 different website links, so that way they can't transfer data or videos to each other and can't talk about their killing spree and all that. So yeah, those guys are pretty hardcore.
Yeah. They're these groups, these hacking groups, what they're also known as they're called hacktivists.
Yeah,
So like activists, but they're hackers.
yeah.
Yeah, so it was supposedly Anonymous that breached into the PlayStation Network. And the thing was that Anonymous came out and they said that they weren't involved.
Yeah.
But, this clearly shows that Sony has some issues with their security because, there's this current one with the whole, their entire network getting hacked.
Yeah.
A year ago, it was their PlayStation network getting hacked. And if you could take a guess, within the last 15 years, how many times do you think their networks have gotten breached?
15 years?
Yeah.
I know, since the beginning of,
Time!
yeah, beginning of time of the internet. I mean, geez, I'm pretty sure security was pretty damn horrible, and people would just hack it easy. I'd say within 15 years, I'd say at least like 3 times a year. I don't know. I'm just assuming. So 3 times 15.
Okay, so 45.
Yeah.
Okay, actually, that's pretty damn close.
Is it really?
Yeah, around 50 times.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that they got hacked. But
That was a pure guessing.
think about this. Like, it's Sony, right? They're not some like small ass company or anything. Like, how many times does any other big company like Sony get hacked? I think rarely ever.
Yeah. Well, no. I mean,
Or maybe we don't hear about it.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking because any big company like Sony, Google, Amazon, all the hackers want to hack it because they're so big, and you can steal so much information, you can steal so much money from them, and just in one hack, if they can breach it. So I'm figuring, hey, they want to hack these big guys. Who wants to hack or for example, who the hell wants to hack me? If anything, if they hack me, they're going to have really bad credit and they're going to be under the hole and they're going to end up owing money to the bank.
Who got hacked now, bitch?
So, I mean, it's going to suck for them to hack someone that's, that doesn't have money. So they're going to go for someone that's really
Damn,
big.
nice. See, that's why I choose to live poor, because I don't want to get hacked. I'm actually counter hacking then at that point. So. But yeah, so we'll actually, interesting that you brought that up, because we'll get into that a little bit later too. But one of the questions I want to ask you is, with all these hacks that are happening and stuff too, why do you think that hackers hate Sony so much? Yeah, you kind of brought up the point that, okay, they're a big company, so that's why. Do you think there's anything else that might be like kind of associated with it, or?
Well, I think they want to hack them because, like I said, they're really big and everyone wants to attack big corporation to get a lot of money. But at the
Mhm.
same time, they have a lot of competitors that's out to get them. I mean, I'm not. This is all speculations, but
Ooh.
but yeah, definitely. Maybe Google or Xbox hired some kind of the hacktivists or GOP to hack them.
Damn.
Who knows? I mean, there are a lot of competitors. If you could take out one of the big competitors, you could get all those competitors into your side and buy your product, and you can make, instead of a gazillion dollar, you can make a gazillion alien dollars, whatever goes after gazillion dollars. But but yeah, definitely you can make more money because once you're at the top of the food chain, you want to make more money. You want to make more power. I mean, you're money hungry. You're just hungry for everything. So you want to do anything possible to take out your competitors. Same thing like with Walmart, for example.
Boo.
Yeah, I mean, I try to vote for anyone that's small pop shop, so that way try to help them out because big Walmarts are basically taking over everything and anything out there.
Mm.
You rarely see any more Kmart or
Nice. I like.
or even like Save-On's kind of going out. CVS is taking over them. There's different. Walmart just too damn big now, and everyone's like kind of supporting the big chain. Why not try to help the small pop shop?
Yep.
So same thing with Sony. It's pretty much whoever their competitor is probably trying to take them out. Maybe they hired some hackers to do it, but that's all speculations. Though I'm not saying it really happened. Yeah.
I take it as fact, Frankie. So I like it. I like the idea of, so in a movie, there's this big evil like business, and they're like, okay, we need to take out our competition, so we hire a hitman, and it's usually a tall dude that's like clean cut, and he's always wearing a business suit, and he always has black gloves on, and he goes up a bunch of flight of stairs to go to like a really tall building, right, to the rooftop. So he gets out there, and he's carrying an attaché case with him the whole time, and he opens it up, and there's like a sniper gun inside, but it's all taken apart, and he slowly builds it together, perches up on the corner of the roof, and then boom, and takes out their opponent, right?
Oh,
but
man.
instead of all of that happening, what it is that there's this kind of like this kind of regular looking dude instead, and he walks up to the top with his attaché case, and when he opens it up, instead of a gun, there's a keyboard inside of it, and he has a little network cable, and he plugs into the LAN, and he starts typing, and then boom, and then that dude's life is ruined instead.
Yeah, I mean that's crazy how like the way time is changing. Instead of just killing someone directly, you could kill them directly through their information, and that can screw up their life while stealing their social security, their information from their phones, their money, their bank account. You could screw anyone over just if you could hack their information.
Yeah.
And you could be pretty much in the slums in like a day, pretty much, or in a couple hours if they could hack your information and screw they could cut off all your credit cards, your debit card. It happened to me once where I actually got hacked, or I guess they stole my money out of my bank account, about 2,000 or 2,500, and pretty much during that time I wasn't making too much money, so after they stole that much amount of money, I only had probably like $200 left in my account. I was like, oh man, what am I gonna do? The freaking was it the people at the bank said, oh, we can't do anything until another 2 weeks, we gotta put your account on hold. And I was sitting there crying. It's like, no, I can't go out. I can't do anything. I only have $200 in my account, and it sucks. So I've been in that situation where someone just stole money from you, and you can't do anything.
Crazy. So actually, did you end up getting it back?
Yeah,
Okay.
not till like 2 weeks after. So,
Okay.
but I was pretty much crippled because I can't use my debit card.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
before, I kind of told myself that I would never use credit cards because I was young, naive, and I used credit card like a dumbass and just bought everything.
Mhm.
So when I paid off my credit card, I decided to never use credit card again, and I couldn't do anything after that. So yeah, it
Okay.
sucks. It
Yeah.
happens.
It is the information era. So.
Yeah.
But to go back to the question, like why do hackers hate Sony so much? So this is kind of some of the stuff that people have been talking about, and I totally agree with this too. But essentially, what what you have to think about is, what do the hackers believe in, right? And hackers generally, their core values, or one of their core values, is always freedom.
Yeah.
So they believe in freedom, like freedom of speech, freedom of information.
Yeah.
Sony, on the other hand, they're a business, right?
Mm-hmm.
They believe in protecting their own interests and making money.
Yeah.
So you, at that point, have a clash of ideals, right? One person believes in freedom, and the other believes in making money.
Yeah.
So in recent history with Sony, there's been 2 cases that really stood out, in which like the hacker community were like, nah, like they're really displeased with it.
Yeah.
In 2005, this was the time when, 2005, holy crap, that's 10 years ago. Think about it. But I'm pretty sure you'll remember this, and for our listeners that are old like us, you'll remember this too. But the music industry at that point in time, they're going absolutely bonkers with the fact that people were making copies of CDs or compact discs and not paying for them.
Wow, they started that 10 years ago?
Yeah, it was around that time
Wow.
when it was like really crazy, when burning CD technology started really picking up, and it started really
Yeah.
becoming really accessible.
I remember one of my buddies, he has one, you can actually go to the store or Fry's or anywhere, you could buy one of those CD-ROM thing where you could burn anything you want. So you throw a CD in, you burn the movie onto it, and you just make a complete copy of it. It's pretty
What?
crazy.
You could make a copy of it?
Yeah, and then and then I remember probably, I'm not sure how long, I'm assuming within like 6 months to a year, they finally caught on to it, and then they kind of banned that from the stores because there was so much copies going around.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of crazy. And then you could just walk to Chinatown and you see a bunch of like copies everywhere on the ground. It's funny.
And then a cop rolls by, and the dude pulls up his blanket, and all the discs go in there, and he just runs off like a gremlin with the bag over his shoulder of all those bootleg CDs and DVDs.
Yeah, just like Clash of Clans, that little goblin, he steals all your money running around.
I wouldn't have any idea what you're talking. I don't know what you're talking about. So let's move on. Let's move on. So everyone was burning CDs, and Sony was like, no, well, they're not paying money for this. So what they wanted to do was they developed like their own little counter to this, right?
Yeah.
So what they started doing was they were releasing rootkits along with the CD. So what the rootkit would be doing is that it installs a program without you knowing about it onto the CD.
Yeah.
And it basically blocks you from making a copy of the CD.
Oh, okay.
Now, let's say it was just at that, right? Okay, that fair enough, right? Because there's artists, there's production labels, companies. Okay,
Yeah.
you can't make a CD. That's understandable, right? You can't
Yeah.
make a copy of it. You should be buying it.
Yeah.
The thing is that the rootkit didn't just only do that. It also was constantly running in the background of your computer, so it's taking up resources
Oh,
for your
okay.
PC. The other thing too was that it was basically gathering data on your personal listening habits and sending that back to Sony. So if it found out like,
okay.
Franky's been listening to NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, and Britney Spears.
True story. I did listen to him back then.
Yeah, I'm talking about when back then what you were listening to. I'm not
Yeah.
making it up. Like I'm just
Yeah.
saying, no, because we all listen to that.
Yeah.
So- but they would send that info back to Sony, so Sony can be like, oh, okay, and somehow figure out how to market better and whatnot.
Yeah. So it's kind of like Google now in a sense, because whatever, if you're looking up dildos or porn or some educational movie, this little freaking ad pops up, and it's like,
Yep.
how the hell does it know I'm looking into that?
Sure.
Why am I so much interested into this ad they're popping up? And then you kind of notice like, dude, Google is kind of spying on you, seeing what you're kind of looking at, and it's kind of creepy in a way.
Yeah, absolutely. Like since I've been doing the website stuff, now when I go to YouTube to look up, web development tutorials,
Yeah.
there'll be ads for like, web programs and things like that. And I just kind of shudder and then like close the internet. But like I look at my webcam and I think like the internet's watching and like, oh. But yeah,
Yeah,
so it's always doing these type of things, you
Yeah.
know? And this was back before any of this stuff happened, you
Yeah.
know? And on top of that, it also made your PC more susceptible to viruses,
Oh man.
and it wasn't easy to uninstall. Of course, right?
Yeah.
Of course.
I remember back in the day, every ad will pop up, every, sponsor they're trying to put out there. It just keeps popping out. It's just so stupid. It's pissed me off, dude. That's, man, it makes me mad.
Yeah.
Stupid sponsor people, man.
But yeah, so when basically the people and essentially the hackers, right? Because
Yeah.
our average person wouldn't know this, but a hacker obviously would start
Yeah.
picking it up and start discovering these things. It sparked this huge lawsuit for Sony.
Oh, wow. Really?
So yeah, because it was essentially like, it was basically, if you think about it, Sony was hacking people
Yeah.
because they're distributing essentially a virus in a sense, right?
Yeah.
It's unwanted software onto someone's PC without them knowing it.
Oh, okay, because they didn't have it written on some kind of contract or on the label stating that, right?
Yeah, probably
Okay.
not, because then at that point, if they're already having trouble people buying CDs, that's not going to make it any better, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So the hacking community was like, oh yeah, these mothers, yeah, like they, one thing, they just hate them, right?
Yeah.
Like, and it's a big thing. Now, one of the other really big standout cases was in 2010. So flash forward 5 years, and that's still 5 years from now. So oh my god! But this I remember a lot because actually this was the time when I was really into like gaming consoles and whatnot.
Yeah.
But in 2010, there was a dude named George Hotz, Hotz.
Oh man, that's
I didn't make up that
awesome name.
I'm not making this shit up. So it's just Hotz.
Hot.
But he was known as Geo Hot. That was his like little like nickname. He's a 17-year-old dude. In high school, he jailbroke the PS3 during that time, and he
Dang,
released the
17?
code. Yeah, smart
Wow.
dude. So smart young
Super
guy.
young.
Yeah. So he released the code out to the public, and obviously Sony wasn't having any of that, right?
Yeah.
So they decided to sue GeoHot. Sony then, what's it called? They became another target for the hacking community because it's like, this dude George Hotz, he did his own thing. He bought the unit and he came up with his own.
Yeah.
He decided to make it his own, like jailbreak it and do
Yeah.
whatever he wanted to with it.
Because he bought the he bought the Sony PS3 himself. He paid with his own money. He should be able to do whatever he wants with the PlayStation, right?
Yeah.
So
So with Sony going in and deciding to sue George or GeoHot, they're basically attacking one of the hacking community's own hackers, right?
yeah.
And again, that was when the anonymous supposedly. So Sony claims that Anonymous broke into the PlayStation Network.
Oh,
So that was
okay.
associated with that, what we were talking about a little bit earlier.
Well, how do they determine or how do they figure out who is hacking who? I mean, you can't just say, okay, Anonymous did it or the GOP did it or whatever hacking group did it. How do they even link that to them? Do they have any proof of it?
Well,
Or-
I mean, okay, so from a logical standpoint, you'd think, okay, they'd have to perform an investigation and then go through and then have their facts on why they believe that X group or person or whatever entity hacked them, right?
Yeah.
It's up to them to release how much of that information they want to release.
Yeah. that's
So
true.
I'm not sure exactly what their claims were on why they claimed Anonymous did it at the time.
Yeah.
They just did. So
Just like Bush that pretty much attacked the Middle East saying they had some big old weapon of mass destruction. Turns out they didn't, but
they had
Bush,
a lot of
yes.
oil.
Yep, they ended up with a lot of oil.
A lot of opium. But to go back to the recent attack, right?
Yeah.
So Sony believed that the hackers were from North Korea. So this is kind of the big thing that you see in all the articles.
Was it John Kun? What is his name? The leader of
Kim Jong Un.
Kim Jong Un.
Yeah,
Okay,
sounds kind of like a noodle brand or something.
I know, right? Kind of got me hungry. That's why I was like, with some noodles.
Yeah.
All right, podcast is delayed for the next 20 minutes, guys. I want to go eat some noodles. We'll be back.
Yeah, so Sony, they claimed that it was North Korea that attacked them, and they claimed that it was in response to a release of a new movie, and the movie
Yeah.
was called The Interview.
Yeah.
That was starring Seth Rogen and James Franco, and it was basically about these two reporters that were sent on a mission by the CIA to interview the North Korean dictator Kim Jong Un
Yeah.
and assassinate him.
It was pretty damn funny movie. I'm not sure if you've seen it or not.
I haven't.
You haven't seen it?
Have you seen it? Or?
Yeah, I've seen it. And,
Okay. What'd you think of it?
I thought it was pretty damn funny. I mean, there was some like is more of like a stupid humor, not like funny where comedians type of funny, but it's like a stupid kind of funny.
Slapstick.
What's that?
Slapstick is more kind of like more physical kind of like Three Stooges is considered slapstick comedy.
Yeah, I guess it was kind
It's
of
not
like
as
that.
intelligent. It's kind of just more dumbed down, like kind
Yeah,
of just really
yeah, it was
silly
pretty
stuff.
much like that. I mean, pretty much Seth Rogen and what's the other actor? I forgot his name.
James Franco.
James Franco.
I guess that is Seth Rogen's kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Like those type of humor.
Yeah, then he just pretty much is about James Franco doing being an interview, and then he's trying to pick up his game, and it's pretty funny. He's all interviewing like Eminem and how much they brought like a gay scene part, saying that Eminem was, oh yeah, we're talking about one subject. Then Eminem said, oh yeah, I'm gay. Then he jumped into another subject, and James Franco was like, what? It was pretty funny. It's a pretty good movie. If you haven't seen it, definitely I would recommend it. If you like dumbed down movies like that, I mean, I totally love it. So it's pretty funny.
I mean, I can't say that I support it, but technically it's out there on the internet because of the Guardians of Peace, and we'll kind of get into that too. But yeah, so Sony says that it was North Korea, they didn't like the fact that we were going to release this movie, so they attacked us.
Yeah.
Now the interesting thing is that the Guardians of Peace, they actually didn't even mention anything about the movie until Sony just started saying it themselves.
Oh, okay.
And what they did after that was they started making threats where they're saying, oh, yeah, if you release the movie, then we may attack the theaters that are showing it and, kind of threatening it. So kind of along the lines there, what I'm thinking is that, well, they didn't come out initially and say that, look, don't release the movie and we won't hack you or anything. It didn't seem to give them any warning or anything.
Mm-hmm.
After Sony did it, it's kind of like, okay, let's give them some fire and let's play around with this. Yeah. It's like, I'll run along with your story, just to kind of like screw around with you guys a little bit more. That's the way I feel, at least.
Yeah. I mean, so pretty much you're saying that GOP didn't know anything about, the movie itself until Sony came out with it, right?
Not that they didn't know about it, but they never mentioned anything about it.
Until
they didn't
Sony.
say anything. Yeah. Until Sony said that, North Korea attacked because, they didn't like us releasing this movie.
I'm wondering if it's maybe like if Sony is kind of working with the U.S. government. So
Conspiracies.
some kind of conspiracy or something along those lines.
To
It's pretty crazy.
to build more publicity.
Yeah, maybe, and then or maybe if you wanted to attack Korea or North Korea. But the thing is, I'm pretty sure we didn't attack them yet because they didn't have oil. So, I mean, that's just my opinion. But hey. But yeah, definitely, that's pretty crazy. Where or I guess Sony's getting hacked by GOP, and there's no evidence of was it about the North Korea until Sony presented it about the movie.
Yeah. So in response, the North Korean government, they came out and they basically denied any involvement with the hacking of the Sony networks. And they released comments, and it was kind of like a jab back at Sony where they're saying, like, well, if you're going to release the movie, like, that is technically about a terrorist attack because, it's Joe Rogan and James Franco going out assassinating some, their leader. That's kind of what you get, right?
Yeah.
Like, you guys kind of got this coming to you.
I remember, what was it? Actually, President Obama came out on TV after the Sony hack, and then they stated that North Korea got hacked, but they didn't admit to it. They said, "Oh, we found out that North Korea's internet was shut down for, I believe, about 9 hours," but President Obama didn't directly say that it was the U.S. government that did it, but they got shut down for a while.
Interesting.
So yeah, I remember I saw a little video clip on that. It was pretty crazy.
Oh, okay.
And I'm not sure if they're doing, if the U.S. is actually doing an attack on North Korea now.
Yeah,
so
knows?
it's kind of funny.
Who does? just like prank wars is all it is. Yeah, we're gonna shut down your internet for 9 hours. It's like, oh man, I can't Facebook during this time.
Man, I need Instagram. I need to post a picture of my food, man.
Yeah, heaven forbid. That's the worst thing to happen. Like your internet goes down for like several hours. Everyone dies. But since you were talking about that, at that point in time, after they're kind of saying who did what, North Korea said it wasn't us. The FBI and the U.S. government they got involved. So on December 19th, they stated that North Korea was involved with the hack. They said that their analysis actually of the malware that was used on the attack showed similarities in like the lines of code, encryption algorithms, and like data deletion methods that were previously linked to North Korea.
Oh, okay.
And that several of the IP addresses associated with North Korea's infrastructure was used in the IPs that were hard-coded inside of the malware for the attack.
Oh, okay. So pretty much the U.S. was kind of hacking North Korea before without them knowing, because how would they have known about their information?
Well, no, they said that it was linked with other attacks that they speculated from North Korea.
Okay.
So there's hack attacks before.
Okay. From North Korea.
Yeah, from North Korea. Okay. And look, it just so happens to be the same IP addresses. Right? Yeah. This is what they're saying. And then, like you were saying, the Obama, which I didn't hear what you were saying about, but I only listened to kind of like certain parts of it.
Yeah.
But President Obama commented that the U.S. will respond in a place and manner and time that we choose.
Yeah.
So whether or not it was, 9 hours of their internet going down for a bit or whatever, but I felt kind of like that response is just like, yeah, we'll take care of it. Like we're gonna get you. It's just I'm not sure when and I'm not sure how, but we'll do it when we want to do it because it's up to me. It's my decision. Yeah. I was like,
being a little kid.
Yeah, it kind of felt that way.
But I mean, to be honest, if let's say for example, North Korea had the power to actually shut down all of America's internet for 9 hours.
Please, North Korea, you wish.
I'm just saying if that was to ever happen, dude, you know how big chaos that would be? You know how much people lose so much money just to shut down the whole United States for pretty much 9 hours? That's like a whole day of work, basically.
Yeah.
And that'd be really crazy attack if North Korea can do that. But unfortunately, they can't even launch a freaking missile. So,
well, don't say that. They just might. They might be listening to our podcast and they go, "Oh no, Franky Davis." But yeah, so soon after the FBI and the U.S. government, they released all their findings, right? Like all the stuff we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
The Guardians of Peace, of course, they wanted to respond back. And this was their quote on what they said on the FBI's investigation. They said, "The result of the investigation by the FBI is so excellent that you might have seen what we were doing with your own eyes. We congratulate you with success. The FBI is the best in the world. You will find a gift for the FBI at the following address." So what they did was there's a link and it was to YouTube. And actually, I'll pull that up right now, actually. So this was a response from the GOP to the FBI's investigation on...
So they pretty much GOP put a link onto YouTube, or was it the FBI that put a link onto YouTube?
No, the FBI didn't put it.
That's what I was wondering. I was like,
no. This is the GOP's response to the FBI's investigation.
Oh, okay, got it.
So if you guys want to check it out, you go to YouTube and you type in "You are an idiot," and this is what they sent to them.
That's pretty funny.
Actually, it wasn't this one. Hold on, let me see. This is the wrong one.
But still, that's still a good video.
No.
You are an idiot.
This is the one. This is the one. Yeah, this is more your style.
I feel like I want to go to a music festival right now.
So you got this crazy happy hardcore music. There's these little happy smiley faces that are jumping around and flashing like they're going to give you a seizure. And it's "You are an idiot." Over and over and over. It's just these ridiculous drawings of these guys dancing, and
That was pretty cool. He's doing like the wave with his arm and his little happy face, and oh man, I wouldn't mind being hacked by these guys.
well, I mean that kind of goes into the psyche of the hackers, right? Hackers generally have a good sense of humor, right?
Yeah. Well, at least I guess the FBI can kind of go off of if they ever want to catch them. They like music festivals.
Yeah, so we'll set up this FBI fest, and you could go there and party, and it's like, oh wait a second, it was thrown by the FBI. Who did that?
You just have to look for a guy that's doing the wave with a smiley face.
Yep. So that was what the GOP thought of the FBI's investigation, and it wasn't just actually the GOP that thought what the FBI was telling them was kind of like a little hoaxy too.
Yeah.
But anyways, so besides just there's a lot of other people that were the response and the reasoning behind the FBI's response and reasoning behind the North Korea being the culprit. They thought that info was pretty weak, actually. Yeah. So there was a bunch of representatives from like cybersecurity companies.
Yeah.
That are all saying that the evidence that the FBI brought up were all basically trivial for a hacker. And if they wanted to misdirect the attention towards North Korea, easy peasy. Like a hacker can do that. And also, I guess the supposed IPs that the FBI linked to North Korea, these are well-known proxy IPs.
Oh, okay.
So anyone can actually link and relay to any of these PCs and go to any of these locations.
So they made it too obvious? Because they're using that certain IP address that's pretty well known. Sure.
Let's think of it this way, right? Let's say you and I are roommates, right? Yeah. And what's your favorite cake or like pastry or something?
I don't know. I mean, let's say chocolate cake.
Okay. Let's say there's a chocolate cake in the fridge, right? Okay. And you're like. And let's say you're dating a girl and she lives there with us. So there's 3 of us. Yeah. And you say, hey guys, don't eat this chocolate cake. It's mine, right? Okay. Okay, cool. So you go to work and then you come home and you find this scene, right? Where the cake is gone from the refrigerator and there's little bits of cake that are on the ground. So you look down and you're like, damn, who ate my cake, right? And you see this trail of little pieces of chocolate cake.
Oh man, I feel like I'm getting sad now because my cake is gone and I want to see crumbles.
Yep. So you follow the breadcrumb or the cake crumbs.
I'm following while my tears are coming down my face.
And it starts leading in towards your bedroom, right? Okay. Inside your bedroom, let's say your girlfriend's sleeping, right? Yeah. And then next to the dresser that's next to the bed, there's a fork and there's a little bit of like cake left, right? Yeah. And there's a little bit of cake on her face, right? Yeah. And then you look at the situation and you say, okay, with this evidence here, I know that because I see the crumbs leading to her room, and there's some cake there and stuff and that, okay.
Davis, why'd you eat my cake?
Obviously, who ate the cake, right? So you're the FBI. Yeah. So you look at this investigation and this information, and this is the facts that you brought up. Now, come to think about it, or go back and actually, while you weren't there, what really happened was because I like to play pranks all the time, and what I want to do is set it up so that it looks like your girlfriend ate the cake. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to eat the cake, but while I'm eating the cake, I'm thinking about how can I set this up so it looks like she ate the cake. So I'm going to put little crumbs down, lead it over, put it next to her, and when she's sleeping, because I know she's a heavy sleeper, I'm going to put the little drops of cake on her face. Yeah. And then boom, there you go. I just hacked you, Frankie. That's the second time you've been hacked in your life.
So it was you, Davis. Ah, damn you.
See, so that's kind of the same situation.
Yeah,
right?
I understand. I mean, I totally understand now since you kind of dumbed it down for me. Cake, girlfriend, Davis, prank joker.
I'm sorry I ate your cake, dude. That's what you get.
But yeah, that sucks. I mean, freaking damn North Korea. Screw you guys. I don't know why I'm hating you guys, but screw you guys. But no, overall, I mean, the FBI from the sound of it, they didn't do a good job. And good for GOP for making that video. I mean, to make them look like a dumbass because they are really retarded.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting, right? Because this is one of the things where I guess technically, if I didn't really dive that deep, I mean, I'm a little bit more tech savvy than the average person. So if I just heard this information right off the bat, I'm slightly hesitant because I do kind of understand, hackers can have the ability to pretty much do anything they want, right? But for your regular public, they don't know that, right?
Yeah, that's true.
And when you hear, oh, the FBI did an investigation? Oh, of course, this is the Federal Bureau of Investigation of our country, right? They're supposed to be the most intelligent people that we have.
It's really the funny bunny investigation.
Actually, one of the interesting things that I just kind of recently found out was that and I guess I won't mention any names or anything, but me and some friends were hanging out and we are having some drinks and just chit-chatting, and a old high school friend of ours' name just randomly popped up. Like, we just started talking about him. I was like, oh my God, I haven't thought or talked about that dude in like years. Then one of our friends was like, oh, actually, I'm Facebook friends with him.
Oh, okay.
So he pulled up the site, but he's like, I don't really talk to him, but I have him as a friend on Facebook. And I guess he says that he works for a private cybersecurity company, which actually gets used by the FBI a lot.
Oh, wow. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's pretty cool.
So they contract that company out to be a security.
Right. So maybe, I don't know, maybe in this case too, maybe the FBI hired, a private company to do the investigation, or maybe not, right? Because a lot of cybersecurity companies are saying no. Or who knows? Maybe it could be like, okay, Franky, you're a cybersecurity company. Do an investigation. You do the investigation. You find out, hey, it doesn't look like it was North Korea. It was some proxies and stuff, and they covered the tracks.
Yeah.
That's the last thing the FBI wants to hear. That oh, you couldn't find out who actually did it. So what is the FBI going to do? Are they going to release and say, oh, we hired some people. They couldn't figure it out, so we don't know either? Never. They're never going to say that.
Yeah.
They have to have an answer for the people.
Yeah, that's
just
true.
to save face. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, a lot of people is expecting a lot out of the FBI, the CIA, and any well-known big authority out there. And yeah, I totally agree with that. And you can't just say, hey, I don't have an answer what I'm going to do. I mean, you're just going to look bad, and there's going to be a big old riot, people protesting, take out the FBI, throw in someone else out there, So definitely, yeah, I agree to that.
It's kind of, now that you bring that up, that's pretty interesting. I'm thinking about it. Is what point do you want to look bad, right? Because they're put in a situation where either way they're damned almost, right? They leak out this information, and to people that don't know, sure, kind of, oh, okay, they know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
But obviously people are out there saying, look, all this stuff is like, you're saying is just crap, like it's easily circumvented. So they look bad.
Yeah.
But what if they came out and they just said, you know what, guys, we did an investigation, but they covered their tracks. That looks bad too, right? But at what point, which one is truly bad? Do you want the honest truth where they're just like saying, look, we tried, but it didn't work out? Or do you want the lie that looks bad as well too?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, for my personal opinion, I would want the truth.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's a lot of people, like you said, that doesn't know about it and pretty much don't care about it. But if they hear the word saying, I'm a FBI, I'm a high level intelligence, federal, pretty much top-notch guy, and for you to say that you can't catch the person or having evidence towards it, that's going to look really bad towards you, and there's going to be people out there criticizing about that as well. But for people like us that understand and want the truth, we can handle it. But for people that can't handle it, pretty much are going to be, oh, screw you guys suck, which they don't really understand the whole depth of it.
You know what? Maybe that's what we need. Maybe that's exactly what we need, for them to come out and just be honest, right? And then the people that are like, hey, then, fix it. Okay, fine. You made a mistake or whatever, or you can't figure it out. Fine. But what are you going to do next time when it happens?
Yep, that's true. I mean,
like, up your game, FBI, yeah? And maybe that's all we need is transparency, But, well, it's
a lot of to be honest, there's a lot of people out there that can't handle the truth.
In a perfect world, right? We'd have transparency, and it would be, people would understand one another. But I guess, you're the FBI, you got to save face, right?
Yeah.
Just lie, and I hope that some people take the lie.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of, like, for example, like personal issues where I see some points where, like, I should tell the truth because I want to, but there's certain situations where if I tell the truth, there's going to be worse consequences, not towards you, but overall everything else that's relating around that circle. And it could be really damaging. So you don't want to, expose that information. So I kind of understand what they're trying to do, but at the same time, for me, I guess, yeah, telling the truth is a lot more better. So you get it off your shoulder.
Maybe on a personal level,
Yeah.
sure. But if my government isn't always telling me the truth, I have an issue.
Okay,
I have
yeah.
an issue with that, right? Yeah, maybe between you and me, if you said something
Yeah.
where it's like, okay, maybe you don't, whatever, fine.
Davis, you smell today.
Like,
I'm
fine, fine. But if the government told me that, I'd be like, no, actually, if the government told me like you smell fine, right? Quit lying to me. I know that's not the truth.
I smell good. I threw some roses and some butter cake on me. I smell yummy.
Nice. But but to go back to it, so there's and this is kind of we're going into our conspiracies today, but this is heading into like the really interesting area, I think. People are speculating that the Sony attack, it could have been an inside job, actually.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. So one of the cybersecurity companies that kind of evaluated the situation, they said that the paths and passwords that were hard coded into the malware,
Yeah.
that were used on the Sony attack, whoever created that, they had an extensive knowledge of Sony's internal infrastructure and must have had access to key passwords.
Oh, wow. So pretty much the dude was kind of just hacking from the inside. He just knew all the passwords and just created some kind of app, or...
Well, they're just saying that, whoever developed the malware, they had to have had some very, very key internal information to do so.
They kind of remind me of, if you remember The Matrix Part 2, I believe.
Okay.
There was that Asian guy, and he kind of fought Keanu Reeves, and and trying to test him, see if he's the one. But that Asian guy turned out to be one of the locksmith guy or not the locksmith, but he had a key to the back door, and then that will lead into the white area, then lead to a bunch of different doors, and then it finally took him to the Oracle.
Yeah.
So he pretty much, the key was kind of like the password to unlock any avenue he wanted to go to. So I don't know why, but it kind of reminded me of the Matrix in a sense.
So you just heard it here first, people. Neo was the one that hacked Sony. We figured it out. Got
Damn.
him.
Case closed.
Easy peasy. Now, where's that chocolate cake? I mean, yeah. So they're saying that supposedly it could have been an inside job. Now, the GOP actually released statements after that, and they're saying that Sony has violated human rights and that they have damaged people over these many years, and that many of them are actually among the GOP.
Oh, wow. That sounds pretty interesting. So did something happen along the lines with employees, and then they decided to hack them?
Well, so one of the members of the GOP, only known as Lena, they stated
She
that
sounds cute.
it's probably a dude.
Aw, doesn't matter as long as it sounds cute.
My imagination will let me run free. So Lena stated that we want equality, and Sony doesn't. It's an upward battle. And then Lena hints at how the attack could have possibly went down. And they say that Sony doesn't lock their doors physically. We work with other staff with similar interests to get in.
Oh, wow.
So apparently, this Lena, according to her statements, it sounds like she. I keep saying she because it's a girl's name, but they, Lena, whoever, potentially worked with other people at Sony to either set off the attack or to steal the information, or both.
Well, that's pretty interesting because you got to think about it. For you to acquire a password or a username, something along those lines, you have to be really deep into Sony to acquire that information. So for them to, I guess, the GOP to actually work with some of the members in Sony, dang, they must be hands deep in there.
You would think, and I believe I will get into that a little bit later, but yeah, you'd imagine big company, passwords and whatnot. Your security should be top notch, but remind you, they've been hacked over like 50 times this year. So there's some sort of issue, right?
Yeah.
Some sort of issue. But speaking of that, I mean, why would you think that a Sony employee want to do this?
Maybe they're not paying them enough. Maybe they're not treating them right. Because I know, like, for example, Google has one of top-notch, the way they treat their employees.
They're rated like one of the best companies to work at,
you have
if not the best company.
Yeah, you have like a treadmill. They feed you pretty well. They pay you pretty well. They're there for the employees because they make so much damn money and they want to share the wealth with the employees. So a happier employee makes a better company.
It's the way it should be.
Yeah, but unfortunately, not every company is like that. But I mean, I'm assuming maybe Sony was being, they didn't treat the employees right. After they make gazillion dollars, they they don't want to freaking share the money.
Yeah, it's all mine.
Freaking that little guy from Lord of the Rings.
My precious Smeagol. Was that a Sony release movie? I forgot. But yeah. So I would imagine the same thing, right? Disgruntled employees, you're not being treated well, and that's what they kind of claimed, right? Or this Lena person claimed that they weren't treating their employees well. And actually, earlier this year, Sony Picture Entertainment, they began laying off employees throughout the studio. A statement was released that by spokesman, what's his name, Charles Spinks,
saying, I like his name. Spinks.
He's no Geo Hats. He ain't Mr. Hats.
But Spinks has a really, really nice name to it.
Spinks. It sounds kind of like, I don't know, hitting like Coke bottles together. Like, Spinks. But he stated, we are continuously evolving the business to make Sony Picture Entertainment more efficient and competitive. That's such a businessy man thing to say. Like, more competitive. Like, we're gonna lay off a bunch of people, so we don't use up as much money. Yeah,
you guys are all fired. Keep more money to myself.
Yeah,
assholes.
The year prior to that, Sony Pictures executives outlined that $250 million there's budget cuts, in $250 million worth of budget cuts.
Wow.
They also hired a consultant to identify an extra $100 million in additional cuts. So they're planning on taking out $350 million from the company. These layoffs started after Sony Pictures posted an operations loss of $181 million for the company's fiscal year during the second quarter. And it was possibly due to like a handful of like really big movies that underperformed at the box office.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you're a big corporation and damn, dude, that's a lot of money you're just saving overall, like $250 million on budget cuts and another $100 million on top of that.
And then your financial statement for the fiscal year already shows that you lost $181 million.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, guys. Maybe we should do something.
Yeah. Like, dude, that's a lot of dough. I mean, I guess for a big corporation, I mean, it doesn't seem as big. But dude, from I guess a personal standpoint of view, like damn, dude, if I had just $1 million, man, I could buy like 1 million hamburgers or tacos. Dude, that's a lot of money.
I pray you never get your hands on $1 million. I hope that you never get $1 million, Frankie. I'm sorry. I'm just saying it's for your own safety.
The number one question: what would you do with $1 million?
Million hamburgers. What else would you do with it?
Come on, guys. Food.
Duh. Okay, let's do this, Frankie. You are now the top dog for Sony, right? And all these things are happening. So I'm the accounting dude, and I come up to you and I go, okay, it's the middle of the year. We've already lost $181 million. What do we need to do, Frankie?
Oh man, I mean, if I was the CEO and top executive, I would
lay off people immediately. Start cutting everyone out.
The asshole that I am, I would fire every single one and hire all girls on there in bikinis, and then just run away with the rest of the money. And the girls will follow me.
Oh, okay. I thought they're gonna just stay there.
No.
I'm glad you clarified that, because you would have left him with the accounting dude, which is me. So, damn.
I'll leave you some, Davis.
Okay. Deal.
But on the the real note.
No,
all
that's
jokes
probably
aside.
exactly what they did, actually. I'm sure of it, because they started laying off people.
Why are Sony people so cute and sexy now?
Unless you come in with a bikini, don't expect to have a job.
But yeah, definitely. I don't know. I mean, that's a pretty big decision from the CEO. I mean, from their point of view, or at least if from my point of view, I would actually lay off some people and try to up the money or cash revenue. But at the same time, try to figure out a different way to make more money. So definitely, because $181 million isn't a small chunk of change.
No, absolutely not.
That's a big chunk of change. And I don't know. I mean, I would have to be in his shoes to understand it a little bit more, to understand, okay, what production do we need? What people do we need? All along those lines, there's so many different avenues. You wouldn't know how to cut off certain things unless you're in that position. So it's hard for me to say.
Sure. I know there's no easy answer, but I would like to think that, again, if I imagine if something like this were to happen, let's say at Google, right?
Mm-hmm.
They wouldn't be laying off people immediately, I'm sure, because thank you, Marcus Lemonis, the prophet. It's now I truly believe in the 3 Ps, right?
Yeah.
It's people, process, and products.
Yep.
So it's your people come first, right?
Yep.
So it's not that. So what's the next thing? It's the process, right?
Yep.
And obviously, if you got these big movies that are failing, why are they failing? That's the question, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's where are we losing money? It's not that, oh, we have too many people working. And you know what? Maybe that's the case, but that shouldn't be the first thing you're looking at.
Yeah.
It should be, why are we losing money? And if it's these movies and stuff, it's like, okay, one is, is there any point to us making these movies? Like, if they're not making money, we're just losing money on them, right? So do we just,
Well, that's like a
but I guess if you cut that, then you cut employees and making movies too.
Well,
So.
the thing is, you have to understand where movies kind of, you can't entertain towards everyone. I mean, that's why there's different avenues of action. There's drama, there's scary movies, there's different type of movies, and it's hard to produce a really good movie and cater to every audience. So, I mean, that kind of hit and miss in a sense.
I'd fire the producers because obviously they're not making stuff like that's working. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So I'd get rid of them and then just say, okay, why don't we just get those Avenger guys? Or like, when we get Marvel, they seem like they're doing good.
Well, I mean, that's kind of hard because, I mean, yeah, you could get them, but at the same time,
I know.
Each freaking movie costs so much to do, and all those actors you have to hire, and it's a pretty much experience you have to kind of figure out on your own, and every movie should be better and better and better.
They're a movie production company.
Yeah.
They're not doing it right. That should be changing. That's what I think.
Yeah, that's true.
But not let's immediately just start laying people off. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe they could do some kind of incentive where, okay, we're going to lay you off. Here's maybe $3,000 or $5,000 so that way you get back on your feet. And they could kind of like, I mean, if they want, they could do some kind of...
Well, that's severance. I'm sure.
Yeah, severance.
Actually, I think that when the hackers released some information, there was information on severance pay for people that got laid off and whatnot.
Oh, okay.
So I think Sony did at least pay them out, which is,
Yeah.
But, still, you lose your jobs. But,
Yeah.
I guess it happens. So, but now, with that being said, obviously Sony isn't doing that great as a company, right? But if I were to think back to, just my personal experiences with Sony products, I believe my very first Sony product that I can remember was the Walkman.
Oh, shit.
That's right.
Walkman.
That is right.
You throw your headphones on. You click that big old button, that play button. It's not freaking, what do you call it? Not finger sensitive. It's actual button that you push.
Yes.
Play,
it's
stop,
a tactile
fast forward.
right?
Man, you throw in a little cassette player. Oh, man, that's badass.
There wasn't a screen on it. I'll tell you that. So, yeah, any youngins out there, blast from the past here. Old cassette tape player.
Damn, we're old.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we are.
That's crazy.
But I don't know why, but I remember it wasn't mine. It was my sister's. It was my older sister's. But I would always be recording songs on the radio with probably inside my room had a Sony boombox, I'm sure, or like in the family living room. There's like a cassette player. putting the cassette tape in and hitting play and record at the same time to record a song on the radio.
I totally remember that. Like you have to do it right after the radio announcer just like stop talking, then the music gonna pop out and you have to time it right.
Yeah.
Play and record right now.
It was our video editing software that we had back in the day. That was how you did it.
Oh man, that's so old school.
But in particular, and I don't know why, but I really, really remember listening to The Cure, Friday I'm in Love. You know that song?
No, I don't actually.
Oh, okay. But it was huge during that time. It was on Kiss FM, and I would always be listening to that, rewinding it, listening to it like constantly.
I just remember back in days when I actually played with the Sony big stereo.
Mm-hmm.
What was it? Was that song All for One? I forgot what song it was, but it was one of those. Like,
I will do anything for you.
No. It was I swear.
Oh yeah.
By the moon
Yeah, I swear.
and the stars in the sky, and I swear.
Swear.
Oh.
Hell yeah.
That was like part of my number one song back in the days. I loved it when I was like
Nice.
6 years old or
Classic.
somewhere around that age.
Classic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forget. I'm even older than you are, actually. Damn it! Thank you for reminding me, because I was like, The Cure, Friday I'm in Love. That was like an '80s song. Yours is like a '90s. Ooh.
Yeah, I'm more of the '90s kid.
Yeah. So it was the Walkman, and I think at that point in time, there's only the Sony Walkman. I'm sure there was some other brands and whatnot, but if you didn't have a Sony Walkman, you ain't got nothing. Dude.
Yeah.
Like people laugh at you and kick dirt in your face. That was the thing to have. And moving forward, it was the Discman. So that was their CD player.
Yep, I totally remember that. That thing was
you had
badass.
one?
Yeah, I remember.
Okay.
It wasn't me, but when I think my uncle or my aunt had one.
Mhm.
I totally remember that.
See, and actually, I got one of the really early iterations, and I remember this because Fry's Electronics, during Easter Sunday, they're having this thing where the first 100 people that get into the store,
Yeah.
you get an Easter egg. Inside the Easter egg, there's a little ticket for a certain amount of money.
Yeah.
And you could use that towards a discount off of a product.
Okay.
So myself, my brother-in-law, and my sister, we went, and I opened up my Easter egg, and I was like, okay, I'm going to see how much money I get. It was $50.
Dude, that's a lot.
It was,
Even
yeah.
dude, even till now, that's a lot.
Yeah, I was like, whoa. And my sister got like 5 or something, and my brother-in-law got like 5.
Yeah.
Like, whoa. I was like, yay. He's like, what do you want? Discman! So I ran over to the CD player, because I never had a Discman.
Yeah.
And it was just coming out. So I was like, yeah, the Sony one. And this was actually the one that was not anti-skip yet.
Oh, okay.
Do you remember that? There's like regular ones, and then when they came out with that anti-skip technology, ooh, baby, that was like, you could like actually like touch your Walkman while it's playing and it won't skip.
Yeah, I totally remember those. I mean, yeah, you just shake it around, and it's all good, and you can still play it.
Yeah, because mine, if you even like looked at it funny, it would skip. Like, dude, that thing had to be like perfectly level, and like you could not even like, I don't know, breathe on it or anything. It would skip. It was terrible, but I freaking loved it. I loved it.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, your friends all come knock on the door. Don't knock. You
Yeah.
might mess up my music.
But we would have that, and we would go. And I remember I still had that going into high school, and that was when we started getting into breakdancing and stuff. So I'd have my Sony, Discman, and actually John had. Oh my god, I'm not even joking. I believe they were Sony portable speakers that you put like 6 like AA batteries into them.
I
Do you remember those?
I think I kind of remember those.
They're like little portable speakers, but they took a shit ton of batteries actually. But yeah, I think they were Sony too actually, and we would hook it up to the CD player, start playing some jams, and start breakdancing in the break room or the cafeteria during lunch.
Dude, that's how you know you're a '90s kid, when you listen to like disc player, cassette tape players, and you did some Beat Boys like breakdancing.
Oh, hell yeah.
Those were back in days. I love those. Then you throw a little cardboard in front of the grass and try to do some flares and some windmills into a 90. Those are good old times. Now just if I just walk funny, my ankle will break. I'm getting too old.
Yeah, imagine now, like the kids now, they're gonna grow up and they go, man, remember when we used to take pictures of our food and send it to each other? That's so lame. Now we can send holograms of our food to each other, and you can rotate it, and you can like simulate the smell, and like, oh, I can't believe we used to only just take pictures back in the day instead of sending holograms.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy in about 10, 20 years from now. I mean, technology is just jumping like crazy. Anything you could think of like now, just pop into your head. People have made it. I've thought of so many different inventions, and I just Googled it. I was like, damn, they made this shit already. I'm like, holy crap. It's crazy.
Wouldn't it be great if there was something where we could see people moving and it would be in a compact thing, like some sort of vision that we could get that was televised? I'll call it a TV for television. Oh, what? They already came out with it? Man.
Holy crap, look at this one. They made a flat screen one.
Oh, it's got to be fake. Where do you put the electronical things in it? Oh.
Oh man, it's so crazy. I mean, the times back in the days, like, dude, we don't have a freaking cell phone. You gotta think about, like, nowadays we have a cell phone that has everything on there. You could just pop into Google or pop in a dictionary. You could look up GPS. You could look where you want to eat. There's so many different options now with just something in your hand.
Yep.
Imagine like 10, 15 years from now, what the hell they're gonna come out with, you know?
Who knows? Who knows? Only time can tell.
Yeah, we just have to wait for Sony to pop out something new.
Sony's gonna make the next groundbreaking thing. But yeah, so it was my Walkman, my Discman, and I think one of my first, probably my first digital camera was a 2 megapixel Sony camera. That thing was badass. I tell you what.
2 megapixels.
2 megapixels. Now, this was around the time where they created, and there was another little weird like Discman thing after the CD player. I don't know if you remember this. I forgot what it was called, but it had Sony. They started doing like the Apple thing where they make their own like peripherals. So it was a square rectangular disc.
Okay.
But the quality was supposed to be better than a CD.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't skip at all because
Yeah.
it's inside of a cartridge. But
Yeah.
it was about maybe like 3 inches square.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember this
I
product.
actually don't.
Because it wasn't too popular. And
Was
Sony
it
was
like
trying
a
to
little,
push it.
Was it like a little mini disc that they came out with?
Kind of, but it was this big at that time.
Yeah.
The mini disc came later.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, so for my camera, Sony had their own flash stick at the time. So it was this long, kind of weird, like long rectangular stick, not like your standard like SD or one of the other standard things. They wanted to make it only like, if you get a Sony product, you have to buy Sony peripherals for it, and you have to get our memory sticks and our whatever.
That's how they make money.
Yeah. And then moving on to that, I got a camcorder. That was a mini DV. It was a Sony. I had Sony TV in my house. I'm sure you probably had a Sony television.
I remember one time I was super young. I think I moved in with my grandpa during that time, my mom and my brothers, and we had one of those big ass TVs. It's huge. It was super heavy. It was about I say, about 4 or 5 yards length. And
Yards?
Yeah, because, I mean, it was... Wait, okay, is it yards? I'm thinking,
Yard
okay,
is 3 feet. So that's 12 feet television.
Sorry, guys. Sorry, not that big. About, I say...
I had a movie theater in my house.
Bling. But yeah, it was about, I say, 5 feet length, right?
Sure.
And then probably... I say 4 feet high, but in depth it was about another
like 3 feet.
Yeah, 3 feet or so, and that was like a top-notch TV, but it was heavy as shit. I remember back in the days, I would get a magnet, and then I would put it onto the screen, and then I would see kind of a rainbow color. I'd go,
Oh my god!
I'm like, look at this, it's so cool. And then next thing you know, it totally fucked up the whole TV. My grandpa, my mom, my grandma, all my uncles and brothers like, what the fuck are you doing? And they're cussing me in like Cambodian. It was pretty bad. I mean, but granted, I was super young. I didn't know what the hell was going on. I just saw colors and magnet did the trick. And then...
Dude, that was when you were 18. Don't lie.
Hey, don't tell the people my real age. But yeah, it was pretty bad, and it fucked up the TV, and it cost them a lot of money to fix the TV again.
Yeah.
But I remember those TV. It was a Sony TV. It was huge. It was pretty big and epic back in the days.
Well, hell yeah.
And then it had like those really big boombox speakers attached to the TV as well on each side, and it looked badass. But I fucked up the TV.
No way, I did that too, but I didn't do it to the point where it was like, I think I played around with it a little bit.
Yeah.
Like everyone's probably tried that once in their life, but I think I got scolded immediately. And it was
you
like,
got caught?
Yeah, don't ever do that again. I was like, okay, I won't. I love you, Sony.
But yeah, for me, I went like over the extent and beyond and fucked up the TV. It was pretty bad.
Putting all the magnets on your refrigerator onto the TV, just leaving it there overnight. This will be fun. But yeah, so it was one point in time absolutely ubiquitous. Like Sony products everywhere.
Yeah.
They're freaking king, right? Something happened along the way, right? They just, I don't know, people stopped buying. I stopped buying Sony products, and I think for me personally, the reason was that with the name, their prices were their prices.
Yeah.
It's, you wanted a Sony product, you want a Sony product. It's kind of what Apple is today, right?
Yeah.
You want an Apple, you get an Apple. You have to pay for the Apple price, but I think we just started seeing more options, right? Other electronic companies start stepping up and giving you other things, and I started going with the cheaper options, and it, as far as the quality, seemed just right too, you know?
Yeah. Definitely. I mean, if you're getting the same product, I mean, and you're getting one for a lower price, of course the consumer is going to go to the cheaper route.
Yeah, you know, and you kind of weigh it out too, right? Am I going to pay the extra? You know, if I'm buying $1,000 TV, will I pay an extra $100 to get a one that's a lot better than one, or save $100 and get one that's not as good?
Or one that's magnetic free,
magnet proof, so I can do it all day long, not worry about
see
it.
the rainbows, TV's not messed up.
Oh, this is great, Sony, new Sony tech. There you go, Sony. Use that. That's a freebie.
You got me sold. I'll buy one.
But yeah, and then eventually I even come to find that like Sony products, as far as the quality, started dropping a lot too. Like it was like, you know, their TVs aren't that good. Their notebooks are like nowhere near as good as like the, you know, like the Vios or whatever they're called.
Yeah.
The quality's dropping too. And it was kind of like, well, what are you going to do? Yeah. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess my question is like, why do you think that is? Why did Sony like fall off their throne as like the king of electronics?
Maybe they didn't have like, because you know every company, you pretty much, it comes down to either a car or running some kind of big mega company like Sony, or just running maybe even a donut shop. You need some kind of someone to create new things. So for example, if say like my donut shop, if we keep making the same type of donuts, people are gonna get, they're just gonna walk away because you're just creating the same donuts over and over. But if you come out with something new, like you throw some strawberries on there or some new flavor, people are gonna get more interested, and they're gonna be like, oh, okay, definitely I want to come back to this place to try this new donut. So same thing with Sony. Maybe they didn't have someone to create new and better stuff.
Okay.
So and then maybe other companies hired young people straight from college, and they're really innovative, and they made like new products and new ideas, and they just at cheaper price with same quality or maybe even better, and they just outstomped Sony, and maybe Sony didn't keep up with it throughout time. So I mean, they've been in the game for a long time, and I don't know, I guess with all that money they putting into their pocket instead of inventing new stuff. So that's what I think.
Okay. So maybe not too much like R&D research involved in like a new product and whatnot.
Yeah.
I can kind of see that. For me, what I think it is again, going back, people process, product, right?
Yeah.
I think it's top-down issues. I think there's people high up in the company that are not making the correct decisions, because if you think about it, a company is constantly developing. At one point in time, it started with the Walkman. That was wildly successful.
Yeah.
The Discman, they invented the next thing, right?
Yeah.
That was wildly successful. And then they came out with another thing. And, their TVs were awesome and amazing at the time. So, they're kind of like keep developing and they keep growing.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden it just stopped, right? Like, if you think in theory that if the same things were being done, that it would just keep continuing, Yeah. I mean, there's some things where they kind of failed, where it was like, okay, that weird disc player that I was telling you about, like after the CD player, that didn't work out that well, but they were kind of trying some new things, But yeah, I can't say for sure, but my only guess is that executives changed, people moved into places where maybe they didn't have much experience and they made incorrect decisions.
Yeah, maybe they grew too fast and they didn't have the right people at the right place to function that position correctly. I mean,
That's possible too. Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty hard to run a gigantic company like that
Sure.
and try to have a perfect setup where you have the right executive at certain spots and certain people at certain levels doing the right stuff. So it comes down to, hey, if you hire the wrong person, I mean, then he's gonna screw up that particular area, and then you could lose millions of dollars because that company is huge. Is you could do one small mistake and you could lose gazillions of dollars.
You could
in the
even
process.
lose $181 million in bad movies. It's
There you go.
possible. It might
Yeah.
have happened before to
Yeah.
Sony,
Yeah.
because it did happen to them. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
possible. So yeah, I think it's top-down issues. Just not the right people in the right places making the wrong decisions, essentially. So they have to go back and, I believe, look at, kind of the root cause in a sense.
Yeah.
But if I was a top exec and I was getting paid millions of dollars and making the wrong decisions and stuff, it's not my fault. Dude, you got to talk to Franky. He's head of entertainment and business and whatnot and advertising. I think we're wasting money. You should probably go talk to him about it.
Yeah, pointing fingers around,
Yeah,
saying
sure.
this and that, and you don't want to blame yourself. Then you're gonna be asked out on millions of dollars down the line, and you can possibly be fired.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
So kind of sucks. But what I wanted to do is jump back to kind of the more recent hacks and go through some like kind of theoretical questions. So do you believe that Sony and the FBI, their explanation that North Korea is behind the attack, and if so, what does Sony, what did they do from here?
I mean, just go back on it. Pretty much what Sony was just blaming North Korea, but the GOP was kind of saying they didn't do it, and the FBI didn't have a certain explanation, and I don't know. It was just too much going back and forth. I mean, I don't know. I mean, the full story until you kind of told me about it. So I don't know.
And that's probably not even the full story either. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, pretty much maybe, like I said, maybe the FBI didn't explain enough, or maybe they don't want to give out enough information, because it could kind of ruin the investigation and everything, right? If FBI left, or I mean, give out too much information, in a sense.
Yeah, but they probably wouldn't give out too many specifics either way. But the issue was that whatever reasoning they had, all of it was really weak, essentially. Like
Yeah.
all of their explanations were totally it can be easily set up.
Yeah, well, that's why they're the funny bunny investigation.
So do you believe that it was North Korea?
From the sound of it, I mean, I don't. It could be a possibility, but I don't think it is. I don't think it's North Korea, but
Okay.
who knows? I mean, they could be. He could be just laughing in the background right now in North Korea. That Kim Jong-un is just saying, "Ha ha ha! I hacked you." But
Yeah, I guess it's possible. But I'll be bold and I'll
Yeah.
say I don't believe it.
yeah,
I don't believe it. I don't think it's North Korea.
yeah. I'm leaning more as not North Korea. So
Okay. Now, what do you think Sony has to do from here?
oh man, they need to freaking call Cisco, because Cisco runs like 80%.
They need to call Franky and get some new equipment.
Yeah, pretty much. Because what I do personally is I broke out like IT equipment, so I know about all those security equipment, those telecom equipment, those routers, switches, servers. But Cisco is pretty much one of the top dogs in the world. Like at least 70 to 80% of the routing and switches.
Cisco
Yeah.
from Drew Hill.
Yeah, they got a
Dong, da, dong, dong, dong. I like it when the booty goes. I didn't know he did networking. That's great. That's cool.
Yeah, you didn't know he was a CEO?
Well, learning every minute. I love it. Was Cisco involved in the North Korean hack of Sony? Or?
Probably. He's sending videos of him singing.
That should have been the response video. There should be.
That would have been funny. But yeah, I think like they should have partnered up with like Cisco, or maybe they are, I'm not sure. And they should have set up like a better security, network. And even though it costs them millions of dollars to set it up, at least this way they can kind of protect the employees that's working there, instead of hackers trying to hack the employees' information, their social security, their phone numbers, their address. That it screws up that one employee's life right there if they have their information. So
yeah, and actually there's a point that you brought up previously, and I want to go back to it since you just started mentioning this stuff. Now, one of the things allegedly that was released, I didn't look at any of the documentation that was released, but they said that in one of the big spreadsheets that they had for all the employees and the titles of the employees, their Sony's internal cybersecurity, take a guess at how many people are part of like that division.
On just the security?
Yeah, on like internet and like stuff. Mind you, this is Sony, right?
Oh man, I figure, all right, Sony should have a big, just a lot of,
man.
They're huge. They should have a lot of employees. I'm just guessing maybe around 60,000.
Okay.
I don't know.
Sure. It sounds reasonable, right?
Yeah.
There's 11.
11,000?
11.
11 what?
1. 10? 11.
Just 11 people?
There's 11 people, allegedly.
That's it?
For the entire Sony corporation.
Oh, I thought you were going to say like 11,000?
No.
11 million?
8, 9, 10, 11.
Holy shit, that threw me off. I did not expect that answer.
Like, don't try to correct me. 1,000, right? Eh? Million? No, yeah, there's 11.
Wow. I'm
supposedly. I didn't look at the documentation.
I thought there'd be a lot more people.
Right.
Like people like they contract a big company, then they'll watch their cyber space, I don't know, cyber network, I mean. And then I don't know, I thought it'd be a shitload more people. 11 people?
Yeah.
Wow.
And instead of, let's not spend money towards security measures, but let's spend $181 million towards this movie about Adam Sandler turning into a golden retriever, and he has to he has to find his alleged wife, which is a porcupine that can fly and shoot lasers out of her eyes.
I'm already sold. I want to watch Adam Sandler. If you listen to this podcast, definitely make that movie.
Actually, Sony execs, if you're looking for a new producer, hit me up. So that was just on the spot, believe it or not. I got plenty. I got plenty in me. But yeah, supposedly there's only 11 people working for the entire Sony, for their corporation. Now, one of the other really funny things that I guess in one out of the 50 some odd hacks that happened.
Yeah.
Excuse me. They found a list of all passwords.
Oh wow.
Within Sony, right?
Yeah.
And you want to take a guess at what the name of the file for this list was?
Sony's password? Don't tell me they put that.
No, it's not Sony's passwords.
Okay.
It was passwords. Supposedly.
Wow.
I don't know. People were just joking around and saying that, but I guess that's what it was.
Yeah, these security guys, these top 11 guys, they need to be fired and bring on new people.
Dude, you and I could jump into Sony and do a better job than that.
Yeah.
We would have at least switched the first and last letter of password around.
Yeah.
Swasspers.
That's so funny. I can't believe, why would they put the title password on there? That's so stupid. It's like saying, hey, here's my Facebook account. My password is password123.
Why would you only have 11 people in charge of security?
Yeah.
Why over the last 15 years have you been hacked over 50 times?
Yeah.
Again, it's top-down issues, right? These people aren't looking at the areas that are like being, like affected and saying, okay, we need to do something about this because it isn't the first time that this has happened.
Yeah. And especially, I mean, you kind of brought up that one topic where Lena was the one that kind of saying, there could be some kind of inner attack. So, I mean, it could be a possibility that, there's attack from the inside since it's only 11 people. But at the same time, maybe Lena's trying to throw everyone off track, and everyone's trying to like investigate each other now.
Yeah, that could be too, because like the thing where Sony came out and said, okay, we think it's North Korea because we were going to release this movie.
Yeah.
GOP didn't say anything, and then finally when Sony said it, they're like, okay, we'll run along with this, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe they could be just like, okay, let's stir up some more trouble for them and say that could be internal.
Well, I mean, now that I'm thinking about it, you got to think that, okay, if there's only 11 people, those top 11 people have to be getting paid pretty fucking well, right?
Or maybe not.
There's no, I mean, from my perspective, from just my opinion, they have to, because there's only 11 security people. I mean, they have to be paid pretty well so they won't try to give out, Sony's information or Sony's password. Because why would Sony pay them $60,000 a year for something that's so important?
Well, maybe that's why there's someone working on the inside upset about that.
Yeah, it's a possibility, but I don't see that happening if Sony's, I mean, they make so much money. They should pay their security guys pretty damn well, especially if it's only 11 people, not 11,000.
You don't always think of it like, I understand where you're coming from, but think of the type of decisions that the company has been making over these years, right?
Yeah.
Why do they only have 11 people working there? And why are they making bad decisions on like producing movies and stuff and this and that, and why haven't their technology division have been like coming out with like great new products that people are buying all the time? And I think it's the opposite way. Just because you have few people doesn't mean that you could pay them a lot. It means that they're putting the money in the wrong areas. So what if they have 11 people? They should be paying them a lot, and they should be bringing in more people to like protect themselves better, right? But they're not doing that. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if they're not paying. And according to Lena saying that they don't treat their employees well, right?
Okay.
So even though there's only 11, imagine if we're those 11 dudes, right? What are we gonna do? Like, let's say our job's terrible. We're only the 11 dudes, and the Sony's like, you guys just run the security. You don't do anything really. It's like, man, you don't even know how important we are.
Yeah.
And you barely pay us anything, and people are starting to get laid off. I get laid off, and then you're just stuck there now.
Yeah.
And then someone comes up to you and they say, "You want to get back at Sony? Screw these guys.
Yeah.
This job sucks. This place sucks. They're treating you like crap. You deserve better. Let's get back at them. I need you to put this hard drive, hook it up to the server. That's all you gotta do. And then just when it's done after an hour, just give it back to me."
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. That's a possibility. I mean,
it's a possibility.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I wouldn't rule that out at all. But the thing is, I don't really follow the GOP, but I know of Anonymous, the hacker. And let's say, for instance, Anonymous kind of released that information saying that he was Lena or she was Lena. And I kind of would believe it just because I know the type of person Anonymous is by following him just recently, and the way he treats his people, right, the public, right, and he's there for justice, actually. And I mean, I could be wrong, but I mean, from the videos that I've seen from Anonymous, it's pretty, he puts like a verdict out there, and if the people kind of lean more towards that guy's an asshole, he should go to jail, then Anonymous would attack him. So, but the GOP, I don't really follow their hack, so I don't really know too much about them.
Well, I mean, from what they're releasing in their statements, they are one of the their core values, freedom again, right?
Oh,
Which
okay.
is the same thing. Also, to kind of correct you, like when you say he on Anonymous, technically it's more of a group. It's not just a person. Okay. Like, yeah, they have that guy in the mask and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of like a representation. And the thing they also do is when they go out in public, a lot of people wear the same mask. So it signifies unity.
Yeah.
Where it's, it's not just one person, it's everyone.
Yeah. So okay.
It's us. We're a group. Yeah. So that's what they believe in.
Yeah. Because I know of them then, and they do have credibility towards me, and I totally understand. Like I said, if they were the one that released the information and stating all that, then I would believe them more. So definitely, that's kind of a good thing. On they're fighting not with guns but through the internet, and they're backing a lot of people up through a lot of different avenues that people can't do which they can.
Mhm.
So that's good of them.
Okay, and then now it's the biggest question, and you actually touched on it just slightly earlier, but I'll bring it back up. This is probably like the big smoking gun question,
Pew, pew.
and it's with the FBI and the U.S. government accusing North Korea for the attack, right? Do you think it's actually a ploy to possibly start beef between, obviously North Korea and the U.S. kind of have beef already.
Yeah.
So do you think that it could, maybe this is like some sort of avenue that they're just trying to use as like, oh, it's you guys did it. So
Yeah.
now we can pick a fight with you.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's possibility that United States is trying to do some kind of jump on the bandwagon of saying, yeah, they did it, and maybe they want to go attack North Korea. But like I said, I don't know if North Korea actually have any resources for us to actually steal. So I mean, it could be a possibility, but maybe in the future, who knows? I mean, this could lead into something bigger, then that could be part of the news. Maybe the next president will bring this up and say, hey, part of the thing was that you guys are inhumane, you guys hacked us, and then, so forth throughout time and history, name all this different stuff. They could probably use that against them. Then, hey, we're going to send troops down there and take out your president or the king. And, it's pretty much it's a possibility. I mean,
yeah.
Who knows?
It's just one more thing to add on to that list, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's like anyone when they get mad, you piss me off this day, then the next day you piss me off again, and your bubble is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger until it explode. So this is part of the list that the United States kind of making that, against North Korea. So once that bubble blows, bam, we're in war.
Yeah, and then no more AOL.com when the bubble blows.
AOL.
RIP, rest in peace, AOL. But yeah. So
yeah, next thing is Skype.
But yeah, so kind of to wrap everything up, these are basically my final thoughts on the whole thing. Is I think this event really shows that this is truly the information age. We've been kind of touching on that subject throughout. Information is extremely powerful now, and with the potential of all the information being taken from Sony, these people's lives can potentially be ruined.
Yeah.
And in this day and age, cyber attacks, they can have extremely devastating effects to, in comparison to like a conventional weapon even.
Yeah.
Like, you don't shoot a dude, you take his money, like through his bank account, and you take his social security so that, his credit's ruined.
Yeah, pretty much.
What's worse, would you rather die, or you have to live through the headache of like fixing all that stuff?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, and maybe, it's like you no longer have to maybe kidnap some child or something to get something that you want. All you do is you steal that email that he sent off to a business partner making some sort of shady deal, and use that as ransom.
Yeah, like a blackmail. Yeah.
Yeah.
I totally understand.
Yeah, so I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, pretty much. It's pretty crazy. I mean, throughout the whole entire time when you're telling me about the story about all these hacktivists and the United States playing a role in it, and North Korea, it's pretty crazy world we live in now. I mean, compared to back in the days when we just used to listen to Walkmans and CD players. Now we have freaking music on our damn phone, and Apple's taken over, and then the next new wave is cloud, where everything just disappears into the air and save into a hard drive. Pretty much, I mean, you can get attacked, like Davis was saying earlier. You can get attacked. People could steal your money from your bank account.
Shoot, you did. Yeah.
Yeah, I got attacked before, and that was probably like, I think like 3 or 4 years ago, maybe a little bit longer. And imagine now, the technology's even grown bigger, and they could just steal your information easily. So, I mean, the way we live now, it's pretty crazy world. We're just attacking through this little cable that connects to the internet, which pretty much do like a crazy radio wave that goes through the air, who knows where. I mean, and then you pretty much, the other person on the other end just has your information, takes your freaking money, takes your account, takes your social security, then you're pretty much screwed. And it's nuts the way we live. Imagine 10 years from now, 20 years from now. I mean, the way it's going, it's pretty much the way I see it. Yeah, there's going to be hacktivists, there's going to be people stealing information. But the next big thing I kind of want to see is robots. So definitely that's gonna be a cool thing in the future.
I like robots.
Yeah, I definitely want to see a robot.
Robots.
I want because I saw this pretty much this YouTube, not YouTube. It was on my Facebook, and this girl, she had like a little rod onto a mirror, so it's kind of picking her up and down, so that way it kind of control or balance her. And then you see all her fingers just moving, and then her body just moving like a human, and she's just dancing.
Oh, this is a robot. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was just a robot and just dancing and just does everything so smooth. It doesn't look all cracking and stuff. It looks like it's a real robot, but they didn't put a face on her because it'll look too scary. But dude, the robot's just moving like left and right, just dancing. It's pretty trippy. So definitely, that's the next thing I want to see in the future, in like maybe 10 years from now. I definitely that would interest me.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's creepy. I
Yeah.
think I want robots that are like, you think of robots as robots, like
Yeah.
freaking I don't know, Johnny Five from like Short Circuit, you know, where they're like their heads are square and they have two round things, and like, or Wall-E.
Yeah.
Like, I want robots like that, where it's like, okay, I know you're a damn robot. I don't want a robot that looks kind of like a human and moves like a human. I just
Yeah.
can't trust anybody anymore.
Yeah, I totally understand, because I mean that's how it was kind of like 3, 4, 5 years ago, where robots look all crappy and stuff. Now it just everything just looks so real, you know? It's like, what the fuck? Is that human? Is that robot? You can't tell, you know? So definitely, I can't wait till the future and see what happens. And once robots take over, I mean, pretty much I'll be dead by then, so it sucks for everyone else in the next generation.
Okay, so, you know, with that being said, Sony, that's your new project we got for you. Develop robots.
And make that magnetic free TV. So I could see rainbows on my damn screen and without breaking it.
All right, so Frankie, let's wrap this thing up. So you got any shout outs or anything?
Thank you all for listening. Hope you guys enjoy the show. I love you all. Check out our website, www.ndpc.com. We have all our videos up, all your voice, all our sponsorship area, all our pictures, and maybe I'll throw a little, bra on for you guys, so you guys can see, how sexy my boobies are, whatever. But yeah, I love you guys. Keep listening to us. At least I hope you guys keep listening to us. But yeah, what about you, Davis? Any shout outs?
No, yeah. I just want to say same thing Frankie did. Thank you to all listeners, and on behalf of myself, Frankie, take care, and we'll see you guys next time.